What's up, everybody out there? Another blessed day, man. Come on in, my brothers and sisters on the continent, Black Africa, man. You know what I'm saying? Got a thought I got to share with you, you know what I'm saying? Information. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying, it can add to the African rising, you know what I'm saying? The Africa on the move from the young youth to inform you, man, you know what I'm saying? To keep fighting, man, to keep, you know what I'm saying, trying to liberate yourself. You know, the liberation always start with you first. But once you liberate yourself, you got to keep fighting, man, to liberate others. You know what I'm saying? On the continent, the thing about um, the continent, wherever country you're in, when you have people that's been ruling over you, and their whole purpose of ruling over you is to keep the majority of the people weak, and to keep the majority of the people illiterate, to keep the majority of the people unformed, to keep the majority of the people without getting the right knowledge, the right food, on good water, you know what I'm saying? You know, to keep the people weak, confused, distracted, in a state where they every day they wake up, their main focus is just to try to get clean water, just to try to get food to put in their belly, just to try to help they siblings, you know what I'm saying, to be able to be fed and ate and drink clean water, or they tribals, man, you know what I'm saying, whatever the case may be, the first thing come on their mind is, man, I got to feed myself. You know what I'm saying? I got to get something to eat. I got to get something for my siblings and my family to eat. That's the first thing on their mind. They ain't even thinking about what the government or the people or the people in power are doing. You know what I'm saying? They're keeping these conditions the way they are in Africa. You know what I'm saying? And so, and this the whole purpose of those people being in power for so long, and the continent being the way in the condition it has been in so long, because it had people installed just to keep conditions like that, just to keep the people mind focused on just being able to survive. You know what I'm saying? And so when a lot of people over here look and see, man, and wonder why the continent haven't developed, and even though you hear that Africa have all these natural resources, all these things that all the main powers turn to Africa, you know what I'm saying, to develop their country, you know what I'm saying, to steal and rob Africa of their natural resources. You see all this stuff and you hear about this stuff and you wonder why those countries that's ran by black people ain't developed. But people don't understand the geopolitics behind what's really going on. And you know what I'm saying, they don't understand that those powers that, you know what I'm saying, that's over there on the continent have not only interfered for a very long time with the politics and the systems of those countries, but they didn't help install those people, you know what I'm saying, and keep those people in power for the sole purpose to systematically keep the people weak, and to systematically keep the people divided, to systematically keep the continent divided, for the sole purpose so they can be able to steal and rob, you know what I'm saying, the natural resource, so they can come over there and set up their companies and do all the things to basically just focus on the natural resources of the continent. And so when people don't understand that, it always from afar, you know, wherever you at, and you ain't on the continent, you looking at the continent, from a perspective of what you hearing from your news media, which is most of the time be agent propaganda news media. You know what I'm saying? You know, and so when you looking and hearing, that's where you get your information from. You taking that information and believing that, hey, Africa is not developed because of the people. Because you saying to yourself like, man, it's black people that run those countries. But you're not looking at the boogeyman behind the curtain. You're not looking at that, man, these people that's in power, you know what I'm saying, they not doing the work of the people. And they be there for 30, 40 years in power, and you see the country ain't changed. What you think they doing? But you able to look and see they life done changed. They living good. They living in the big homes, buying homes and taking trips in Europe and buying homes and living a life and living a luxury life. Family driving expensive $100,000 cars and vehicles. They living good. And then we never question it and say, wonder like, how's they living good, the people in the government, But the people are starving. The people, you know what I'm saying, don't even got clean water. The people don't even got power. The people don't even got roads. How is this? And so, like I say, you from afar, you're gonna get fed the medium here. That it's the people, it's their government. You know, it's their government. That's what they're gonna tell you over here. That's what the white media, that's what the white leaderships, you know what I'm saying, and in this country and other countries like the EU, they gonna all say it's the black people in them countries that the reason why their country has been undeveloped. They got bad governments. They criminal behavior. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's why. But it's not. That's not the case. This is part of, you know what I'm saying, like I say, they propaganda, you know what I'm saying, to not inform the public of what they doing. And you know what I'm saying, and the reason why they don't inform the public, because the public in these countries go and freely vote for these people to stay in office. So when you vote for these people to stay in office, you don't know you voting to take food out of the baby's mouth, and that baby go hungry, and eventually that baby starve, that baby die. You voting for the continued conflicts on the continent where people are engaged in war, fighting and killing. You voting for the illiteracy rate to stay the same in those countries. You voting for the leadership to stay the same, to continue to keep their country weak. You voting for the spread of this deadly disease that's been unleashed on a lot of those countries due to a lot of hateful white supremacists. That's what we be voting for. We vote for these politicians in these countries, United States, Europe, Britain, France, Germany, all those countries who citizens vote, who they don't inform what they really doing on behind the scenes over there on the continent. But they can't do that. They can't inform you. They can't be truthful and tell you what they doing, the deals they got set up. Because if they inform a lot of their people probably won't vote for a lot of these leaders. Or they might do. They might still do. But anyway, you vote for these people. They keep this policy in play. If you become a co-conspirator of all the death, disease, and all the stuff that goes on over there. So, you know, this is the added reason why the conditions are the way they are in Africa. And for the black African, you know what I'm saying, you know, who coming to awareness of what's going on in their country, trying to fight, you got to be the one, you know what I'm saying, to go out and educate those who is uneducated, educate those who are not informed. You got to actually go and bring the information to them to make them aware of why their country is not being developed, why they don't got clean water and running water in the year of 2023. It shouldn't be no country that don't have clean water and running water. It should be no country that shouldn't have some type of power system to light up their homes. There should be no country in this 2023. But it's only like that on the continent because of what's been going on by the Western powers, by European powers, or white powers, by white supremacist institutions. And so it's on the black Africans, man. Y'all got to, you know what I'm saying, the ones who are aware, the ones who are awakened, you got to go out, you know, and inform your people, inform people in other countries of what's going on. That's the only way this rising of Africa gonna be completely successful and gonna be a progress that comes from getting rid of those people who look like you, who are in leadership, who've been allowing this stuff to go on for years. This has been going on for years. People are waking up, and these same leaders who've been allowing this stuff to go on for years, trying to make like this ain't been going on. Like they haven't played a part in this here. They haven't played a part in this stuff, the undeveloped Africa, for years. They have sit here and made these deals, did the business of those who feed them, who allow them to go in their country and live their luxury life, buy those expensive cars and expensive homes, take those expensive flights. But here it is, babies, the elderly, sick, suffering from the basic things that they should have already, irregardless of whatever governance in place. They should have the basic running water, basic power, basic means to be fed, basic. But they don't, because it got hateful people, hateful and evil people in play, keeping their country undeveloped so they can rob and rape, steal, keeping leaders in play so they can keep the country and the people weak, so there'll be no resistance to the robbery that's going on, to the stealing that's going on, to the criminality that's going on. So the fingers can't be pointed to the true perpetrators of this mass tragedy and, man, brutal systems, man. And these systems go by the name of democracy, democratic. And even at this very time and day, man, this news media in the West and all these countries, they deflect their accountability and try to say, hey, it's these actors over here now, the China and the Russians, they're the evil ones. They're the ones trying to exploit you. This is what's going on right now, to this present time. These people that still don't want to accept their own accountability of the exploitation they engaged in, the brutality they engaged in, the hypocrisy that they engaged in, the death that it took place of this type of system that hasn't been in play. The leaders, you know what I'm saying, who the black leaders, the black Africans, who have been up with it, in cahoots with it, they don't want to accept their accountability to their own people. Black people who's being liberated, who was aware, conscious. You got to be the ones who go out and teach and educate the unteachable. You got to be the one to go out and educate the ones who don't know. They've been living a life of thinking disconnected from the world, just trying to survive, not trying to be involved in the politics, not knowing that the politics and the people in play is the reason why their conditions are hard. Just look at Africa, man. Look at the animals in Africa. Even the animals, man. Even the animals look unhealthy now. They look like they just starving. They don't even look healthy. It's like it's just draining the continent. Deforesting in certain parts of the Africa. Contaminating the water and the soil with waste. Just look at, it's not just the human beings being affected by these policies, man, and this system. And that's why it's so important for the brothers who are awake, the African brothers and sisters, man, that you get out, you continue to speak, you continue to inform your people. Don't worry about it. It's going to be people that's not going to accept the truth. They're not going to want to hear it. They worship, they personalize, they worship, they hero worship people. Regardless on how many facts you put out about a person that's doing wrong, they still personalize and hero worship. So they're going to always look at those who are speaking out against the people they look at as heroes. They look up to, they want to imitate and immortalize. They're going to always speak out against you and have a hateful, perspective toward what you're trying to get out to the people. They're going to try to tear you down. But don't stop. Keep speaking. Keep being a voice of liberation. Keep being a voice of right information. Keep being a voice of right knowledge. Don't let them stop you. Don't let those people who hate themselves, hate their countrymen, hate their Africa, hate their blackness. Don't let them stop you. They're not part of this movement. They prefer Africa to stay undeveloped. They prefer the babies to continue to die. They prefer the elders to continue to die. They prefer us to continue disunified. They prefer the wars to continue to exist will have lasting effects where we continue to see each other as enemies. They prefer that. So why would you waste your time even arguing and going back and forth with somebody like that? That's where they at. Lead them there. Your mission is more greater. Your mission is to spread the truth, spread the information to those who don't have the access to get it. Go to them. Give it to them. The more the better. This is how the liberation started. This is how African rise and progressively rise. And everybody benefit. That's my thought for today for my brothers and sisters on the continent. Keep revolutionarying your mind and your spirit. Don't stop, young Africa. We here for you. Peace.